Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
Here
comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, King Dinkbat here, and welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast, where we were under 10 minutes late. So whoever wanted to make that bet, you lose. Joey Shakes, what's going on, man?
I'm good, man. Just chilling. Another week is by, and we're getting close to the NFL draft. We got a lot of stuff going on. We have some stuff going on this week. We got a lot of rumors. So, we're getting there. We're getting close. The Matt Corral is coming back in a couple weeks. You know, we're getting ready.
Oh man,
prepared.
I got that thing all cleaned off. I tried it on the other day. It still fits like a charm. So I'm ready to go, man. That's our good luck charm. There's no question about it, man. And it's a very interesting time because the Eagles, of course, they brought Avonte Maddox back, which was it was, I don't know if you can say it was surprising, but it was interesting to me, and I think it kind of told us that maybe the Eagles were going into a different direction of going corner in the first round. But then again, we don't really know, you know.
I don't think it really says that Maddox is really going to start. I think it's more like, you're going to compete for your job this year. And I don't think cornerback is off the table. I think unless it's one guy, I don't think cornerback is off the table because you're drafting a guy in the first round to be an outside guy, not just an inside. But the one name I'm coming up with, obviously, is Cooper DeJean because he is a hybrid guy that they could just throw him at nickel if they really want. So I think he's the most realistic guy that they want.
We got to talk about him. Let me say hi to the chat and everybody in there. Brian Donahue, what's going on? Cole, what's up? Jonathan Cook, James, 63 times Mortis. You should have took the under, buddy. You should have took the under. Donnie, Sue Blaze, what's going on? James, hey, what's up? James Vanover, what's up? Daniel, Ryan, Woogie Woganowski. I love it. Joey has no idea who Woogie Woganowski is. Joe, Neil, Steven, Leon, MJ. Thank you guys so much. Anybody? Josh Jones, what's going on? Andrew, Big Rhythm, Bill. Anybody I missed? I apologize. Thank you guys for being here. I think we got WrestleMania. Is WrestleMania going on tonight?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how many people are probably watching that because it's in Philly. So it might not be the biggest stream we've ever done. Who the hell knows? But I do know that the Cooper DeJean is a very interesting player because I finally spent some time watching him, and I still want to watch more on him. But my first reaction to watching him, was this guy's a safety. Like I think he's a legit stud safety in the NFL. I don't think he's a outside corner. If I drafted him, I would play him at safety. Like I think he's dynamic like that, and he can play every position. He can play outside corner if you need him. He can play in the slot. So if they were to take him as a safety, I do think he's going to be a stud as a safety. I don't think he's going to be a stud corner, but I think a safety. I think he's good.
Yeah, I think he just brings a lot of value to the Vic Fangio defense. Like I said, since we know that Bradbury's not moving anywhere at this point. I mean, if they let Avonte Maddox go early, they could have saved more money with a post-June cut. So Bradbury didn't get designated early for a post-June cut. I don't see him going anywhere. I think they like what they have in the corner room, but it doesn't mean that they're going to stop adding. I think they're still going to add to that position. It's just got to get better. But you have to start producing, man. This is, last year really sucked. It's one of those years where you can't have consistent years like that where you're not producing your guys, especially when the regular season is here. But it's nice to see that Keely Ringo got some playing time. Eli Ricks got some playing time. Now Isaiah Rodgers coming to the mix. Tyler Hall at nickel. So it's going to be interesting what they do throughout the draft and then see what we have as a final roster going forward to see what the offseason program brings these guys. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And I want to take back what I just said. I said that he wasn't going to be good as a corner or a stud as corner. He might be very good corner. He may be a stud corner. I shouldn't say that. I just feel that when I watch him, he just looks like a safety to me. He looks like a dynamic safety. And I think if he plays that position, I think he's going to be really, really good. Because one of the things about him was man coverage. There's a lot of people saying that he's going to be challenged in man in the NFL. It may be an issue for him. I just think at safety he would be great, but I shouldn't say that he can't be a good corner. I think he'd probably be a great slot corner too. But he's an interesting player. I wouldn't draft him in the first round though. I'll be honest with you, but
he might move down.
But the Eagles apparently are. I mean, the rumors are that there are people within that scouting department that are absolutely in love with him. They absolutely think he's the guy.
Yeah, that's we really haven't had that much news on who they're overly. He was one of the early pre-draft visits, which is a good sign, maybe that he might not be an early first round pick. I think he could slide on day 2. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really an interesting. It's really interesting draft because I think it's very unpredictable. I don't know where they're going to go. I have my suspect. My suspicion is that they go offensive line in the first round. I would bet that that's the most likely spot that they draft. But they could go edge rusher. They could go offensive line. Will they go linebacker? I don't know if I could see that. Will they go corner? I mean, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that they could go, but I just think that if you look at everything that they've done so far, I think that the one spot that they really haven't addressed profoundly yet is the offensive line. And I think that you look at all the offensive linemen that are out there, I would not be surprised to see them trade up for an offensive lineman. I would.
Jackson Powers Johnson would fix a lot of things for the future.
Would you play him at center or would you play him at guard? Because he could play both.
Depends what the Eagles want. If they feel, if what they feel like, like Jackson Powers naturally would be a good center, but could play guard.
He would.
It really is up to them. But you put him at center, dude. You move Juergens you keep Juergens at right guard. You have Matt Hennessy as a guard, a center guard backup. And I honestly, with Tyler Steen, man, they got to cross train him to right tackle behind Lane Johnson or something. They got to do something with him. But that's a big move. It's a big move.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is a big move. I mean, the thing is like if you look at like mock drafts, there's literally like 4 or 5 offensive linemen going in the top 20 potentially. So I feel like that they're going to have to trade up if they want a certain offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I like the kid out of Alabama. Oh, is it J.C. Latham, whatever how they say it? The guy's 6'6", like 320, can play right guard. And then right away, I mean, he could come in and play guard right now. They say he's nasty. And then eventually he kick out to right tackle. That's who I like. I like the center. I like Powers, Jack. I like that kid. There's quite a few offensive linemen I think are going to be good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It's that's why I think Jackson Powers Johnson's the only, if you're going to take an offensive lineman in the first round, it's got to be him because any other guy is just going to be a redshirt.
Yeah.
Besides maybe one other guy, but I think it's just going to be a redshirt year, and I don't think the Eagles can afford to sit somebody behind somebody for a year. I mean, it's got to start right now. So
it just seems to me like if the top 2 positions are offensive lineman and defensive, like an edge rusher, and you look at most of the mock drafts, there's literally like 3-4 guys going in the top 20 on both sides of the ball. So I think the Eagles are trading up in the first round. I really do. I don't think they're sitting pat. I think they're going to trade up again. I do. Yeah. I really think so.
Mm.
I mean, I don't think they have a choice, man. I don't.
22 is it's an okay spot. It's just like, what are you looking for though? It really depends what they're looking for.
I mean, if you look at like offensive line, there's a bunch of offensive linemen going in the top 20. Bunch of defensive and edge rushers going top 20. Then you look at even the cornerbacks with Arnold, the kid. My favorite kid is Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, that's my guy I would love to draft in the first round. But they're all going around 15, 16, 7. Like, they're all in that teen area. And it seems like any position, I think you got to trade up, unless you just want to sit back and take whatever's left over. And I'm not really into taking leftovers. I want what I want. If I know I want somebody, I want to go get them. How he's trading up, I would be shocked if he doesn't trade up. I really would.
He's done it. Yeah.
Yeah. He's done it, 4 of the last 5 drafts?
Yes.
DeAndre Dillard, trade up. Jalen Reagor, they sat there and took him. Then you had Devontae Smith, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, all trade ups.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming up. White Birch Acres, man. Thank you. First super chat of the day. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. He says, can't stay for the stream, but I'll listen tomorrow at work. Love the content, guys. Support from Northeast Pennsylvania. White Birch Acres, man. Thank you for your support,
bro.
man. We totally understand, man. We appreciate the super chat, and we appreciate you, coming by and saying what's up. So thank you. Thank you so much, man. Twits, thank you for the super chat, my man. He said, trade back and grab Cooper. That way we have a 5th-year option on him. Plus, we can probably grab an extra pick. Yeah, I mean, depending upon where you go, you could definitely do. I mean, you could do it. Now, if you traded back in the first round, which the Eagles haven't done in a long time, but let's say they traded back, I don't know, let's say from 22 to 27, right? 28, somewhere like that. And then they took Cooper DeJean. I think you got to trade right back up in the second round, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to go up and get Edrin Cooper. It should be to draft the Coopers at that point. I want Edrin Cooper, dude. I decided I want him. Best off-the-ball linebacker, I think, in this draft. And I think the Eagles should snag him and have him tied up for years to come.
And here's another thing that they have to think about, too. And the E. Cooper, I think they definitely should go grab, and I hope they do early. Another thing is, now since you lost, okay, now we're kind of, some of us are over it, some of us are not over it, some of us are still fighting with ourselves about it. And I'm not trying to make a whole stream about it because we've already done it. And you have to go over the thing. But I'm saying this, okay, now losing Haason Reddick, okay, and on that side you have Brandon Graham, you have Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff's on the other side. So I'm thinking right now is, what do you have on that side since Reddick is gone? Like, who is off-ball type, an edge guy that plays off-ball well, and do they think they have to move up in this draft for a Dallas Turner? Or I think Dallas Turner probably the best fit on the edge for a nice hybrid guy there. I mean, do you think they should? What do you think they're doing? Are they leaving it alone? Or are they looking at that edge? I mean, me and Philly talked about this the other night. We were texting back and forth off camera, and we were just saying, like, we don't like this. Like even if this happened, like, why did Howie give him away for, like, how much control did Reddick have over this whole, which he didn't. He didn't really have much control over it because the Eagles had all the leverage in the world, like, to play on this contract. There still hasn't been a contract for Haason Reddick with the New York Jets yet. I have to see this contract. Now, at Howard Eskin earlier this week, he did tweet out and said, from his inside sources that he said, quote unquote, well over $20 million. Well, where is it then? Where is this deal? Because if he plays on a $14.5 million deal this year, it's going to be a problem.
Well, and Eskin's always going to say what the Eagles want, what's best for them. And thanks, Twiz, for that for the super chat. Mm-hmm. Let me get another one here and try to catch up. Paul Feder, thank you for super chat. He goes, sleeper pick, Luke McCaffrey, wide receiver, Christian's little brother. Yeah, that would be an interesting pick, no doubt about it. But to go on to what you're saying, and we'll talk more about Christian McCaffrey, the receivers, in a second. I just wanted to finish the point on Reddick is that his father was shocked. Did you see it where his father's completely shocked that he got traded? A lot of people are completely shocked. I am completely shocked. Not because I didn't think they were going to extend him. I just didn't think they would let him go this year. And I just don't ever remember Howie in what I feel like losing a trade. This was one of them that I feel like we lost a trade on this one. But, I want to see how it plays out and what happens. The one thing about Bryce Huff, though, that kind of gets to me a little bit is that people complain that Reddick can't play off the ball. Well, to me, is why would I want him to? If he's a good pass rusher, then let him do what's the strength. Why do these coaches have to insist that their systems are so great that you can't even make adjustments? Make the proper adjustment so Reddick can rush the passer most of the time. This kid, Bryce Huff, one of the big complaints about him is that he doesn't play the run well and he doesn't do anything but rush the pass rusher. That's exactly what you had in Reddick.
They got the same player, but
so
just different.
Younger. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe it's more of a thing. If you talked about this before, I think we all agree, like, Reddick is a streaky guy where 1 month he'll have no sacks, another month he'll have 7. So if he's not, he might have consistent years, but he's not having consistent games. And that's, I think, is the biggest difference you have there.
And I hate the stuff that comes out after he leaves. Oh, well, he just was trying to get sacks all the time. Like, why do we have to talk bad about a guy just because he left? Because he left. To me, that what that tells me when I hear things like that is the team is trying to justify getting ripped off and just wanting to move him. That's what it.
This has been, but this has been going on for weeks. So even after like the playoff loss, like they had a lot of time, but we were wondering what was going on all these weeks. Like they couldn't get something done. They couldn't restructure a contract for the year. But until I see that thing signed by the New York Jets, if it's over $20 million, then okay, I get it. Like you're not paying Reddick over $20 million when you need to invest in more of these younger guys and build around the younger guys. But something's not matching up here. Something's not matching up here.
He's going to play in the final year of his contract.
That's nuts.
I think he is. Now Paul was talking about wide receivers. I haven't watched a lot of Luke McCaffrey. So I'd have to see. I mean, have you seen anything about him at all?
Luke, no, I haven't watched Luke McCaffrey yet.
No. The kid I really like is that Adonis Mitchell kid. That's the guy I would want the Eagles to land.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Fetter, thank you for super chat. He goes, is Trotter Jr. too small? Only 6 foot. No, I don't believe he's too small. I think that's a wise tale. Like to me, a lot of times these guys get said, oh, they're too small coming out of draft. Go look at the size of like Ray Lewis coming out of the draft. In the combine. He was only like 1 inch taller and pretty much weighed the same amount. I think what's his face? The linebacker we were all trying to get from Baltimore. He was literally the same size as Trotter coming out of the draft. So I think it's bogus. Trotter Jr. will be able to, in 2-3 years, he'll be 240, 245 pounds. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to go that route with him, though. I think it's more likely. I think Cooper would be more likely than him, if they went that route. Paul Fetter, thank you for super chat, my man. He says, Baldy said Reddick trade was political. Interesting. I'm assuming, I would like to know what he means by it, but I'm assuming that means like based upon the money or something, not wanting to pay the position at the 8. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what he means by that, but I'll have to check it out. Well, what do you think he means by that, Paul? I'm curious. John Jones says, I would go Dallas Turner. I like Dallas Turner a lot.
Good player.
But where do you have to get up to get him? Like, you have to get up to like
you're starting to change my mind. Yeah, you're gonna probably top 12. I mean, you're starting to change my mind a little bit on the Latu stuff going on, just a little bit.
Why?
I don't know, because you're making me nervous with the fireman stuff. You're making me nervous about because he's got a durability issue, and obviously almost medically cleared in 2020. I understand, but you never know what could happen. I mean,
I do worry about that. He medically retired and then came back. Like, is he one concussion away from being? I mean, look at Calcaterra. I mean. He retired and he came back and he's been hurt all the time. So Latu, he's one of those guys, almost like Landon Dickerson, in my view. If he comes and he plays and he stays healthy, I think he's going to be good. But he's got to stay healthy. Remember, Landon Dickerson had all those injuries in college, and we were like, "Oh my God, the guy's always hurt." But if he could play, and he's been fine, so I mean, if they feel the need to take the chance, dude, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that pick. Jason Fetter, thank you for the super chat. Goes, I think Philly is on something with Josh Allen. You know what's so funny? And thank you for the super chat, Jason. But before we talk about what drugs I'm on, you know what's so funny is that people think that I'm talking about the quarterback. Dude, I cannot tell you how many people DM me and put in the comment section, why are you betraying Hurts? Why are you turning your back on Hurts all of a sudden? What the hell, dude? Why would you want Josh Allen over Hurts? I'm like, I'm talking about Josh Allen from the Jaguars, the outside linebacker. They think I'm talking about the quarterback. It's hilarious. And as far as drugs, what do you mean I'm on drugs? Dude, it's a genius idea. It's an absolutely genius idea, and everybody's starting to pick up on it now after I said it. But it's absolutely genius because he's exactly what you need. He's exactly what you need. Yeah, you're going to have to pay him a lot of money, but he's 26 years old. I'm all for it. John Jones says, James, I want Powers Johnson so bad. James, you need to go and watch. He's coming. He threw one of the coaches aside. I was beside. Oh, yeah. He likes the center, man. He likes the center.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good. But let me ask you, John Luke, would you consider him at right guard and keep? I guess you have to play him at center, right? If you draft him, you put him at center, you keep Juergens at right guard.
Yeah, you have no choice, really. I don't think we have a choice. Like, why get a change guy in a position?
See, I was thinking like the CJ Latham from Alabama, like somebody that I could put at right guard for 2 years and then kick him outside to right tackle to replace Lane. That's what I was hoping to do, But I mean,
not bad.
King Lane says, we are getting the Jets' 10th overall pick. Yeah, the Jets are apparently shopping that pick. They want to trade it. I'd give them Paris Campbell.
Oh,
they can have him back.
You see,
well, they never had him, but
you see the Bills. The Bills are trying to move up too to get a wide receiver. Apparently,
yeah, they will. I mean, they just lost Stephon Diggs. I mean, dude, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the whole Diggs situation, but it seems like that stuff is more related to like the locker room and getting along.
Oh,
and stuff like that, But to me, the Bills, you can't have Josh Allen not have weapons. I think they made a mistake. If I was them, I would try like crazy to get like T. Higgins or get the best receiver in this draft and move way up, which is really going to be hard.
Yeah, I mean, because theoretically it's only a 1-year deal with Diggs going to Houston now, and they're taking on like almost $30 million in dead cap over it. It's crazy. Like, they're paying the rest of his contract and everything, which is nuts. So it's a big loss for them. They can't beat the Chiefs, man. I mean, that's been their hump that they can't get over.
That's it. They can't beat the Chiefs. Yeah. Neil says the trade looks like it sucks now, but when the Jets owe Reddick $25 million at 33 years old, and the Eagles hold your second, it'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, listen, in 2-3 years, we might turn around and say that was a great move for the Eagles. Perfect timing to move on from them. My issue is that I just think that after everything you did this offseason to get better, to go and make that one extra move you didn't need to make, and to get nothing for it. And I mean nothing for it this year. What do I care about a 2026 second-round pick right now? I'm going into this upcoming season. I want to get players for this year, and that's the thing that annoys me.
I don't think they're not getting that second-round pick. I mean, I hope they do, but I don't think they're getting it. They have a real heavy rotation. I mean, they might not even rotate guys every 5 plays. I mean, they rotate a lot, and I don't know. When he gets to that 8 sack number, they'll probably at the end of the year they'll fucking sit him. I mean, I don't doubt it. He'll have the playing time at 67%, but I don't
It's
think
67 and a half. So they're going to play 67% and not the half.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Reddick will get double-digit sacks. I think he'll be great over there. I think he'll do his thing. And, you know, I think Reddick's got at least 2 really good years left for double-digit sacks. The question is if you know, what are people going to say if you go out there and you're not getting production from Huff and Nolan Smith? You're in big trouble. I mean, you're in big trouble.
It's a lot
of trouble.
It's a big gamble. It's a huge
it
gamble.
Is.
Put on a guy that's sorry, go ahead.
No, I would just say I would have felt much more comfortable holding on to Reddick this year, letting those guys play behind Reddick, and then saying, all right, these guys went out, they played good, they're ready to take over. You know what I mean?
But sometimes we're wrong. I mean, Bryce Huff can walk right into the season and be a monster.
Right.
The only thing that makes me uncomfortable about Bryce Huff getting all this money right now, which that contract will definitely look good in the future. I'm just talking about this year, you know, 43% of the snaps. He hasn't played a whole season. He hasn't been conditioned under a full season with a number like that. So that's why the Jets didn't pay him, because at least with Reddick, you have a body of work that is connected to a consistent year-by-year basis. And, I mean, Bryce Huff his story is really nice. He undrafted and really worked his ass off. You know, he's a quiet guy. He's not like the rah-rah type player, but he shows by example. And I think that contract at $17 million a year is going to look really good by next year. I think it's a couple of years. I think it's going to look fantastic. So
I think I'm sure he's going to be good. I'm very hopeful about Nolan Smith too. If one of those guys goes out and gets 14, 15 sacks, then it was well worth it, you know.
Yeah.
But time will tell. A youngin says, Philly, you like John Michie from Texas, wide receiver 3? I do. I actually do. I just, my only thing is, and I don't know this, like where's he health wise, right? I mean he was sick, right? He had cancer or something,
leukemia.
Yeah. So you know, is he good to go? I mean, if he is, then yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's the odd man out right now since getting Stephon Diggs to Houston now. So, I mean, it won't cost much. It'll cost like maybe a pick for next year. It probably won't even cost that much. He only had like 100-something yards last year. I think he's full. I think he's fine, you know. So,
yeah,
I think it's a low risk, high reward move. I still think they're bringing in receivers. So,
I still think they're taking a receiver in the second round. I
really?
do. I think it's going to be that early. Yeah, I think they're going to take a receiver in the second. I don't know if it'll be the first, second. I'm hoping that they trade up with the first, second round pick and get Cooper. Like, I really think you need Edgerrin Cooper, man. Like I think you should target him in the second round and get him. And then I think the second round pick, I think you try to take a wide receiver, you know. But I mean, we'll see. Paul Feder, thank you for super chat. He goes, Baldy said Reddick trade wasn't money. Fangio. Yeah, I mean, I guess. It's just that worries me, that Fangio comes in and he looks at your best playmaker and he says, he's got to go. You know, that worries me. I'm going to tell you this. If this stupid system does not work this year, I'm done with it, dude. I want to go back to the old Eagles defense, man.
No, I think it's just you've worked this system a few years, man. Like, now you're getting I'm telling you, the only way this can't work is if Sirianni gets too involved. That's the one thing I'm worried about. I'm already uncomfortable enough that Nick is still here, but you know what he's saying at these press conferences could be total lies of, you know, let's put my, you know, let's put my scheme and Kellen Moore's scheme together. Like, you don't have a scheme, dude. Like, I think he's trying to. I think he
wide receiver screen every other play.
I think he's trying to make him look like, at least to the media, that he's at least doing something to so he gets a lot of slack off of his back from just what happened last year. And I think, and this is what I really think, okay, with Vic Fangio, I think he has a lot of control. I don't think he's being controlled. I mean, I'm hoping not, but I think he had full control. I think both corners have full control over who they hire as their assistant coaches. And I think Fangio has full control over what he gets to this defense.
Well, for them to move off from Reddick, and I mean, for them to pull that move off, and if it was Fangio that did it, that tells you everything you need to know.
So so at this point, like, if they don't replace Reddick or make a move of that caliber for a player like that on the other side, are you are you going to be really down if they go through this draft and nothing happens?
I'm not going to be down, but I'll be mystified by the trade. I won't. I'll go in the season going, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get why you made that move right now. There was no reason to make that move. Even though you have Huff, even though you have Nolan Smith, there was no need to push him out the door. You weren't in salary cap hell. You weren't in any bad situation. You were stocked with pass rushers to just rotate in and out all game long. It'll just be one of those things where I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it was like one extra move you didn't need to make. I just won't understand it. If they make some big move, if something happens and they end up like Josh Allen or somebody else off another team, like I'll go, all right, now I get it. Now I understand why,
Yeah, I get it. It's crazy.
Yeah, Cameron Holmes says JC Latham can play guard. Yeah, he can play guard, and not only can play guard, but he can eventually jump outside. This guy's 6'6", man. He's a beast. They said he's nasty. I like nasty offensive linemen. So we'll see. Jason Fetter, thank you for super chat. He goes, I think you're right about Allen, bro. Oh, laugh out loud. Yeah, no, I got you. Thank you, man. But I mean, maybe I'm right. I mean, listen, it's not. There's no rumor or there's no anything. It's just purely a looking at the landscape of what's going on with defensive players and looking on what's going on with him specifically, and then looking at the Eagles, and it's just like, I don't know, man. It makes sense to me. It's something Howie would do,
Yeah, I totally agree.
Paul Fetter, David Super Chat goes, McCaffrey is 6'2", running a 4.4 slot receiver. Tape is good. I like it. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the way to go. That'll really piss off the 49ers. You get his brother.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it would be. My base is how he really needs to hit. You're right. He does. John says the last Thursday, April, correct? Yes. If you're talking about the draft is, I believe, what is that, the 25th of April?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so the 25th of April is when you'll have the draft, and we will be streaming live for all of it. It will be interesting. Now, I'm going to bring up, we haven't talked a lot about Josh Allen. Maybe we'll talk more about him later. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But the interesting thing is what future Eagle Micah Parsons right now. Did you see that the Cowboys are getting sick and tired of him? And usually they trash players before they do contract extensions. So it's par for the course with the Cowboys. But there's another guy that, if we don't do anything this year, I'm telling you, I think he's going to be an Eagle at some point. I really do. I do. That's why I say he's future Eagle,
Yeah, I mean, realistically, even with him, it's just like all these podcasts, dude, that these players have and all the complaining that these guys have been doing. And I don't know if Micah wants to sign a new contract with a team that's, I mean, they're done with Dak after this year. I would think. I mean, I don't think there's no extension. There's no extensions on the table right now, and he might not want to be there anymore after this year if they're going down a different direction.
I would want the hell out. I see the Eagles doing all the stuff, and then the Cowboys do nothing. I think the Cowboys purposely did not redo or work out a restructure with Dak because they want to blame him. They want to blame him so they can get rid of him. I'm really starting to believe the whole Dan Sileo thing that he told me about Michael Irvin, and that Michael Irvin thinks that they really want Shedeur Sanders, and they're preparing the way to get him, and then eventually Dion will actually be the coach.
Wow,
it makes some sense to me. Thor DeVille says the scary thing is I don't know if Howie knows how to build a 3-4 defense versus a 4-3, and I don't know if he listens enough to the scouts and coaches. Yeah, I don't know either. And the thing is I was okay with the hybrid. Like, if you want to be able to show different fronts, I'm okay with it. But now if you're going to go purely to a 3-4, you've talked about it. It seems like defenses have kind of figured out Fangio's defenses over the years. No.
Yeah, it's true. No, they have. I mean, because there's nothing strategic to it. It's really getting the best guys. I mean, athletically, especially your secondary has to be athletic as hell. Like your guys have to run east and west. They have to be able to tackle like an open field, and not linebackers hopefully playing downhill, and with your defensive line, you're hopefully to hit home a lot.
Right.
So
right. Yeah. Jason Davis Super Chat goes, you were right about AJ, might be right again. Yeah, you never know. You never know. I mean, I'm not banking on it, but the AJ thing did work out, and that was something we are very proud of here on this channel. We nailed that. That was amazing. I would love to see that again with Josh Allen. I would. Thing with Josh Allen, it's actually an easier path, really. I mean, he's technically a free agent. You can sign him right now. You can sign him. So you'd have to give up.
So you have to. So yeah. So the unexclusive tag or whatever. So you would have to put out an offer, and if the Jags match it, then they re-sign him. If they can't match it, then he goes to that team that they offered. The other team offered.
The team that signed him, but you have to give them compensation. Now I don't know if they've changed it. There's 2 franchise tags. There's the exclusive and non-exclusive. I believe a non-exclusive is 2 first-round picks. So you would have to give up 2 first-round picks. The Eagles aren't going to give up 2 first-round picks. But the thing is why would the Jaguars, why would you ever go out there and make him and franchise tag him as a non-exclusive? Why? If you have every intention of keeping him and you want to keep him, you then make him a non-exclusive so he can't negotiate with anybody. But by making him by making him a non-exclusive, what you've basically done is you said, yeah, we want to sign him, but if somebody's willing to come with the right price, we're willing to think about it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to leave that on the table. So to me, that's a little crack in the door that they may be open to it, because otherwise it would have been a non-exclusive negotiation. I think Barkley was franchise tagged last year as non-exclusive. So nobody could even talk to him. You could talk to Josh Allen. So to me, that's the first sign. Then you got all the stuff where he put out tweets and then deleted them, talking about watch the tape, blah, blah, and liking things, complaining about the general manager and their front office. Yeah, I mean, the writing's on the wall, dude.
It's quiet though, because teams. I haven't seen any teams like really go after him yet.
No, yeah, because nobody's going to go after him and want to give 2 first-round picks. But you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. That's the one thing we don't know. But I mean, listen, I wouldn't put it past Howie Roseman to call the Jaguars and say, "We'll give you the 22nd overall pick right now," and boom. I would do it, dude. Listen, Brian Burns got traded for a 2nd and a 5th. He was ranked higher than Josh Allen was as a free agent. So I mean, why not?
Yeah,
he's a beast, man. Robert Powell says 500. Maybe Josh Allen happens. Okay, here are his stats. You think pass rushers do not drop in coverage? He dropped in coverage 141 snaps and allowed just 130 yards on 19 targets without allowing a touchdown. No, you're right. And I know that he plays the perfect position for the Eagles. He can drop back into coverage. He's at 3-4 outside linebacker. I mean, exactly what they want Reddick to. He does it. But he has 17.5 sacks last year.
But if this is a move the Eagles are going to make, they're probably thinking, okay, well, next year we should have over $60 million in cap space. Like, take advantage of making a move now instead of waiting until next year where you're going to be. Look, at the end of the day, like Brandon Graham's retiring. Josh Sweat's only playing on that restructure this year. I mean, you're losing a few guys. The defensive line's taking a big hit. Milt Williams is going to be a free agent. It's going to be a lot of free agents on the defensive line. If you want to go ahead and give up that 22 overall pick, I mean, if that's what it's going to cost and pay this guy, and how he can work the numbers, I'm not worried about that. That's the last thing I'm worried about. But 16, 17 sacks going to 26 years old, I mean, into his prime.
26 years old, man, and he's bigger than Reddick. And Robert, man, I want to put this up there again. Where is it?
Mm-hmm.
I think I lost it, but I mean, that's just unbelievable. Oh, I think I lost it. Damn it. Robert, put that in there again. But I mean, those are great numbers to drop back in cover. I mean, the guy's a stud. He would be perfect for the Eagles. It would be a Howie Roseman, big balls, Howie type move. Then all of a sudden when you lose Josh Sweat, you're all set to go. You're good to go. I don't know why. I say do it, man. I would do it. I would take Josh Allen over Parsons. I'm not even lying. I would.
Yeah.
Robert says, I think you're right. Makes so much sense. It's Howie Roseman all over. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If Jacksonville had no intentions of moving him, then why would you make it a non-exclusive instead of just making an exclusive franchise? They got to pay him 23 or 24 million this year and a franchise tag.
They're getting more value out of a contract over $20 million. The Eagles would have more. The Eagles would get more value out of him than Reddick. It's tell the story.
Absolutely. He's 4 years younger than Reddick. I mean, damn. It's not a likely thing to happen. I'm not saying it, but it's something that if Howie could pull it off, would be a huge upgrade, and he would fit the defense, and you give yourself a premier sack guy who can play back coverage, who you can build your defense around. Obviously, if the Jaguars had no intentions of even taking up offers, they would have made him, an exclusive franchise. They didn't. So to me, there's got to be something somewhere that maybe you can, we can see how it goes.
Yeah.
What's Josh Allen's he doesn't have a contract, Eagle Slayer. He's a free agent. He's a free agent. Alex says our D is going to be trash, pray or offensive or O can deliver. Oh yeah, you got to. The thing is people are going to say, well, why would you pay him all that money, not Reddick? Well, it's because he's 26 years old. Reddick is 30. He's 26.
Yeah. Huge difference.
500 Graham Barton off his light is a diehard Eagles fan. Look at okay, I'll definitely check it out. James says, is Allen stuff for real? There's not no. I mean, this is purely speculation. This is just us talking. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks now. We're just talking a move we think the Eagles should do, and that could be out there. It's not. There's nothing saying that there was nothing linking the Eagles to Josh Allen or anything like that. And let me tell you, there wouldn't be if a move like this doesn't happen. Would any of us knowing it was going to happen?
AJ Brown didn't happen.
Yeah, you won't know if it was happening. Nobody would know until it happens. But we're just talking about ways to get this Eagles defense better and to add premier playmakers to this defense. One way to do it in free agency could be to try to pursue Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Ryan, thank you for Super Chat. Goes Josh Allen for a first, a second, and a fifth, or for Josh Allen for a first or second, or for a second and fifth. If you could do a second and fifth, you do a second and fifth. Oh. I'm assuming that in order to get the job done and to entice the Jaguars, you offer that first round pick. You would still have 2 twos, and you would be getting a 26-year-old pass rusher that had 17.5 sacks last year. So I think you offer the first because I don't think second and fifth is going to entice Jaguars. The point is you want to make them have to think about it, And
you're getting somebody that's way ahead right now at a young age that, that's going to be better than what you get in this draft in the first round if you're looking edge rusher hybrid guy for off coverage. So
yeah. James A said, John, did you do ring or office? Oh, okay. You're talking to somebody else. Okay. Splenda says, 500. What are your thoughts on drafting Kool-Aid in the first round? I like Kool-Aid. I mean, I like Quinion Mitchell better. I like Arnold better. I like Wiggins better, but I do like Kool-Aid. I think any of those 4 guys are great picks in the first round. I do.
Yeah,
You know,
there's plenty of guys that are solid. The Eagles could pick one of those guys up. I don't think all the cornerbacks will be taken. At least what Philly said, that list right there, but until 22.
Right.
Plenty of them available. But I don't think it's going to be corner in the first round. I think it's self-explanatory. Besides Cooper DeJean, I don't think they're getting another guy like that. I think the outside is pretty much set right now.
Well, I think Cooper DeJean is looked at as like you look at and I said this in a video. They look at Cooper DeJean as a weapon. Like, they don't say we signed Saquon Barkley, the running back. They say we signed Saquon Barkley, the weapon. I think they look at Cooper DeJean probably as a weapon because he can do so many different things.
He's a Swiss Army knife. That's what he is.
But I mean, I personally wouldn't draft him in the first round. But
right.
We're basing the Cooper DeJean stuff on the fact that we've heard inside sources say that the people in that scouting department love him. Brother Hannibal says, worst kept secret. Eagles, Packers, Redskins, all discussing trade-up scenarios for number 16 per Chad Forbes. That does not surprise me at all. That's where I think they're going to try to go right up around 15 or 16. Question is, what do you go up there to get at 15 or 16? Who are the Eagles targeting? Dude, they could go so many different ways in this draft.
I know. You think Brock Bowers would be off the table? Do you think he would be an actual target for the Eagles as a future tight end?
Yeah, I mean, they've done it before. Why not? Why not go out and get him? What an interesting pick that would be. Now some people won't like it because you're going to say, well, now you're using a first round pick to get a backup who's definitely not going to start. And that's true, but when you use them and you use that 12-man personnel, it's going to be awesome. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know would the Eagles do that in the first round. I mean, anything is possible, I guess, with Howie.
Yeah.
Joe, I was talking about Brian Dawkins. Oh, okay. I don't know. 500, did you see Sauce Gardner in the cornerbacks in the draft? You see a Sauce, the guy that I think kind of gives me some of his vibes. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be him, but Quinion Mitchell gives me his vibes a little bit. Like, I think Mitchell's going to be good. I think Arnold's going to be good too. I think there are legitimately some good corners in this draft. I think there are good offensive linemen, good edge rushers. And I think those 3 positions, I think you're going to see a lot of them go by 22, which is why the Eagles got to trade up.
Yeah, makes sense.
Princess Gamer, what's going on? Funny enough, I draft Bowers in Madden in the first. That's funny. I think a lot of people probably have done that, yeah. David says, draft DeJean and trade away both seconds for Allen and Surtain and call it a day.
Yeah.
That would never
maybe
never
one,
happen.
Maybe Allen, but we'll see.
I mean, I had somebody was mad at me that said, how could you even mention Josh Allen? It's not realistic. Patrick Surtain is much more likely. I'm like, but Josh Allen's a free agent. Surtain is not even, nobody's trading him,
I don't think they're getting rid of him at all.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Mr. International says it's time for the Eagles to be dogs again. I mean it, man. Especially, I dream of the day. Like, I want to have a feared defense, man. I want a nasty defense that teams fear. And I know it's a different era today, but I still think, man, I'm still a little surprised they haven't done more on defense, to be honest with you.
I think the attitude is changing. I think even having Fangio as more of a hard-nosed defensive coordinator, that accountability is key with the defense. But Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's back there now. You have
I know.
Devin White is a big voice. I mean, Devin White, I'm really excited about. I mean, a lot of people are down on him. But now my next question is, safety is going to be interesting too, because there was some stuff from Adam Schefter this week on Justin Simmons, and it's been a dry market. I think he's put a big number on himself for a while. I think he's going to be the player now that if he doesn't go before the draft or sign somewhere, I think he's going to wait till after the draft and be a post-draft sign to a team that he knows where he's going to start somewhere. Are you a fan of some of the safeties in this draft? I think obviously Bullard's probably one of my favorites, even, and thank God he's a Georgia Bulldog, but depends on what you're looking for. Tyler Newbin and Javon Bullard and even Kitchens as well. So
I like Kitchens. Kitchens is the guy I like. I kind of like Kitchens a little bit, and I like DeJean. I think I look at Cooper DeJean. I think he's a safety. So that's who I look at as a safety. But I like Kitchens. The thing with Justin Simmons is if he doesn't sign before the draft, I don't think he signs till training camp. Like I think he's going to be like a mid preseason type signing. There's going to be no rush for him to sign. You might as well wait to training camp. You get injuries and whatnot. Now we've heard things that he may not like Fangio. I don't know what to make of it. Like, have you heard that like he might not want to play with Fangio again? And he wasn't happy with him and stuff. So I don't know what to think. But I tell you, I like that Julian Blackmon was the kid I thought they should have signed.
Yeah. Isaiah Simmons is gone now. Went back to the Giants.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at this Eagles defense, if we really look at it, have they really done enough on the defensive side of the ball? That's what I want to know. Have they? I don't know that they have. Christopher Baker Davis Super Chat goes, can you all do a live mock draft? Yeah, we might do one. We'll have to talk about and figure out how to go out and do that. But thank you so much for the Super Chat. Eagles fan 220 says 500. Are you going to be Mark and Dan's best man at the wedding? Oh my God. Did you see that Mark Holmes went on Jacob Media after Dan Cilio trashed him and said that he wore his mom's panties and stuff? Like, dude, it was the biggest kiss up, lick Dak's balls fest in the world. All they did was Dak Prescott's so good and Jalen Hurts isn't that good. Dak Prescott this. And Mark Holmes was like, it's Kellen Moore's fault. And he chokes in the playoffs, and the coaches choke. Not one time did he blame Dak Prescott for choking in the playoffs. It's disgusting. It was a giant cowboy love fest. It was gross. It was gross. You need sanity on that, The Umbrella Man, David Super Chat. He goes, "What's up, fellas? How yous doing?
What up, bro?
Good, man. How are you?" Shaking my head. Last time Eagles drafted a Pro Bowl cornerback was 2002. Some of y'all were little kids. Yeah, that's right. Some of these guys were little kids. Listen, here's the thing with the cornerback situation. I have said this over and over again. In the first round, I would love to see the Eagles draft a corner. I would like to see one of the four, Kool-Aid, Mitchell, Arnold, or Wiggins. I believe all four of those guys could start over James Bradberry. I just don't know that the Eagles are going to do it. I feel like Bradberry is like, because of his contract, is almost handcuffed the Eagles to starting at that position. And I don't know how they're going to move him.
Yeah, I think they can get out of it. I don't see why they can't extend him and post-June cut him and split up the $10.5 million for a couple years and eat it up. Like, I don't get why it's so impossible, but I guess I don't know. Maybe they like him. I have no idea, but you're not gonna have Slay after this year. You're not, and Bradberry could be on the move after this year. So that's why corner was I think they want to respect Bradberry, and if they wanted to cut him, it would have been a lot earlier, or designate him earlier, or something to look for another team at least. Now it's just too late. If you cut him now, then I don't even know if they'll. If it didn't happen, then it's not happening now, and corner is off the table. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Ultra Cowboy says Josh Allen has been franchise tagged. No way. No. No way. Yeah, he's been franchise tagged. Non-exclusive franchise tag, meaning he can sign and negotiate with other teams. If you really want to keep him and you're not letting him go no matter what, why would you not make him an exclusive tag. The only reason you do non-exclusive is because you're leaving the door open that if you get a trade offer worth it, you'll trade them. So to me, that tells me there's potential for somebody to come in and get him if they really want to. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Too Focused Football says, Joey, love the content, but please stop pushing this nation that we are going to grab a defensive back. We are going edge or lineman for Joey. You just said that we weren't drafting a cornerback.
I was talking about my videos, maybe. I haven't talked about getting it. I talked about a DB. Well, yeah, beginning of like after free agency, when we're talking about the draft, yeah, I was talking about, or at least during free agency, I was talking about getting a DB over everyone. But I mean, I'm going by what the roster looks like right now. That's what I'm going by. So
Dylan Jordan, thank you for the super chat. He goes, trade Carter for a bag of boiled peanuts. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, man. Philly likes kitchens. I do, because that's where the food is, Mother Humper. That's where the food is. Oh, man. Let me try to catch up to this chat here. Michael says, Philly, I like Shakes. He is up to date on everything. You both are very good at what you guys do, and the other guys that do this are dull and full of shit. Philly is good. Well, thank you, Michael. We appreciate that. We'll take a compliment. Yeah. I like Jared Verse. What do you think about Jared Verse? I like him a lot.
I think he's the best pass rusher, to be honest. I think he's got a great motor. Like, he doesn't give up on plays. He's a beast. I mean, back-to-back 9-sack seasons, but I think he's going to be a monster. He might be the best edge rusher in the draft, honestly.
Yeah. Splendid 64 says a 500. What if Jared Verse fell to 16? Take him. If you could trade up and get him, get him. I like Jared Verse a lot. I do. I think they're going. I think it's going to be offensive lineman personally. I think they're going to take an offensive line. It's really the one thing they haven't really addressed. I mean, they got Hennessy, but you lost Kelsey. You know Lane's probably going in a couple of years. You'd think they would want to do the same thing with Lane Johnson that they did with Kelsey. I think they're going line.
I'm going to say this. Like, I know offensive line isn't the sexy pick that everybody likes, okay, because everyone thinks it's boring. But let me tell you something. They get Jackson Powers. I mean, they get Powers in here. I'm going to be really happy because I know this run game is going to be – this line is set for years.
The one thing that I am not upset about, or one thing I will not be upset at all about, is taking a lineman. I am perfect. Like, you give me a good offensive lineman that works with Stoutland, I'm okay with it. Keep that offensive line. That's your strength of your team, man. That's your bread and butter. Yeah, keep them good. If you go out and get the Powers kid, or you got Latham, or you get one of these guys, I'm content with that, man. I have no problem with it at all. I'm okay. I love it. Philly and Joey, you needed to see WrestleMania tonight in Philadelphia. Jason and Dwayne Johnson came out to help Mysterio. It was awesome to watch. Very cool. I mean, I haven't watched wrestling in so long. I don't know. Is WWF changing? I call it WWF. WWE changing at all? It needs to get back to like it was in the old days.
You know why they changed it from WWF to WWE, right?
No.
The wildlife. I was like this rainforest wildlife. WWF was the same name as something else, and I guess they got sued. And they had
name. With the animals. Yeah, I didn't know that's why they changed it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, Buddha Baker. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's still under contract. Lane says, I don't know, but Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson definitely have wrestling in their future. I know Lane definitely does. I mean, he loves that stuff,
Yeah.
JH, thank you for super chat. He goes, stop watching Cilio. He doesn't make sense. He's a ball buster. 125 says, just draft Georgia or Alabama players. Don't try to be cute with USC, Ohio State, and Michigan. All of the other stars will be gone by the 10th pick. What about Powers? Yeah, he's good, but I'd rather take Latham. Yeah, well, Latham is my number one offensive lineman I want. But yeah, I mean, why not just keep going? Georgia, and Alabama. You can't go wrong with that.
No,
That's for sure.
That's why I think at safety too with Javon Bullard, because he's a versatile player that could play multiple positions as well. So I mean, they could do whatever they want with him. So I glad he's a Georgia Bulldog, because if they picked him in the second round, I'd be really happy. He's probably my favorite safety of this draft.
Yeah. Splendid says, Pfeiffer, how mad would you be if Mitchell fell to 22 and it took a lineman? I would be like, oh, we could have had Mitchell, but I won't be that. If it's Latham, I won't be mad. To me, the whole thing is this: if the Eagles have a draft board, right, and they're true to their draft board, that's all I care about. Like if you have a draft board and the best player on the board is Mitchell, and then you say, well, we don't want to draft that position, we want to take offensive lineman, so you take a player ranked a lot lower. That's when I have a problem. Just take the best player available in round one. This is how the Eagles always get in trouble. They try to be fancy in the first round and take for need, or they try to take for somebody that does something specific that they're looking for. Case in point is Jalen Reagor. They drafted Reagor because Reagor had speed. They wanted a Deshaun Jackson type threat, and they drafted him based upon that. Just take the best player available in the first round. Second round, third round, all those other rounds, you can start worrying about positions. Mm-hmm. But in the first round, just take the best player available, because in this league with injuries and whatnot, things change so quickly that, one position that you don't think you need any help with all of a sudden becomes a position of need. So to me, just take the best player available. And if they do that, I'll be okay with it. I'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
Notorious David Super Chat. He goes, I think we need to trade up and get one versus Latu or Dallas Turner. Think we could still get a tackle in a second, plus need Stout to develop them. It's going to be interesting because, and I like all this. I like Verse and I like Turner. Latu, I like Latu. I'm just worried about his injuries. But thank you for the Super Chat. We appreciate it. The thing I'll say is this: is with the amount of tackles, defensive ends, and stuff that are going to go off the board, what position is not going to be picked over at all? That's going to be around in a second. Like, I'm worried that the offensive linemen are going to go so heavy that there won't be any good ones in the second round. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why this draft is very. It's a big question mark, man. Because you have two new coordinators now again, and it's just like you don't know the direction. I don't think free agency is really designated anything. Maybe a couple things, but you don't know about big trades off the table behind the scenes we don't know of. And 22 is a in the middle type spot, a little bit outside where you want to be. So you traded up 4 out of 5 times the last 4 to 5 years. So it could be almost anybody, because we don't know if it's going to be a big offensive weapon or you think or offensive line, or it's going to be somebody on defense. So I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy. Jason Fetter, welcome to Dingbat Nation, man. Welcome to Dingbat Nation so much, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Steven says 500 weed, Troy Fatanu. Oh, I like Fatanu a lot too. Mm-hmm. There's another guy that can play multiple positions. He's another guy that the Eagles really like. And from what I was reading about him, like, I don't think he's going to be anywhere near the 20s. Like, he's going to go sometime probably in the teens. So, I mean, we'll see. But he's another guy that could go early. Eric, thank you for Super Chat, my man. He goes, I don't care much who they pick in the first, as long as it's best player available, but need Edgerrin Cooper at all possible costs. Thank you, Eric. I think Edgerrin Cooper should be your target in the second round. And I think they should go out and try to make sure they get him, because he's a guy that is talented and is a position of need. So I agree with you on that.
No. And realistically, like between Zach Bond and Oric Burks, like those two guys, like I think they're more special teams with Devin White sitting there. But I don't want Nakobe Dean to be comfortable. I can't even think about Nakobe Dean. I can't say he's good. I can't say he's bad. But the availability is like 3 times hurt in 1 year, 2 times on IR. And trust me, like you talk about injuries, Philly, where it changes tire position. When you get injured during the offseason program and you miss that whole thing when you're trying to get better, like that's the worst. Just get thrown to the season. It's bad. The good news we're getting out, maybe we'll get out, maybe when it comes to safety and corner, we'll see. Sidney Brown had an interview a couple of days ago. It looks like that he says he's coming back for the regular season, that he'll be back by the first. And so I don't know if he's missing a lot of the offseason. He says he's miles ahead of what's going on off the torn ACL, which is good. So getting him back, and at least in the offseason program, would be great. So maybe that dives into maybe not going after a certain position. I don't know.
Maybe. But I'm still a firm believer that he could come back in September. He's not going to be right for a whole year. Just unless you're Adrian Peterson, it always takes 1 full year. You're not right that next year. So I mean, we'll see. He just needs to get healthy, you know.
Yeah.
Princess Gamer says, I think I'd be happy with Josh Allen for a first. Oh yes, Cooper and Trotter in a second, and a wide receiver in a third. There you go. I mean, now you're talking. Now you've got a premier elite defender. You've got 2 young linebackers. I think we're ready to roll, man. You know?
Yeah.
I say why not? Bad at developing. Poyer and Mostert were both here and weren't starters. Yeah, Mostert and Jordan Poyer. Yeah, that's true. Stop the Josh Allen nonsense. Doug Pearson ain't going to help the Eagles. Ultra Cowboy. He doesn't want it. Are you a Cowboy fan? Ultra Cowboy? Can I assume that you're a Cowboy fan? Because to me, it sounds like you have a lot of fear. Doesn't he sound scared? Boy, he's scared of the don't have a thought and never talk about a thought because a thought scares me. Oh, boo-hoo, poor you. Oh, let's get you a little, I don't know, do you need a little paddle or something to go in your safe space and you can sit there and play with? Because we don't want to hurt your feelings and get you all bothered because we had a talk about Josh Allen. Sorry.
I think we have the most balls to go out and have an opinion than having no opinion at all, because I feel like there's too many people in the world that are afraid to give out their opinions because of the backlash they're going to get for giving their opinions about things. And I think me and Philly, we take the brunt of we take the end of the sword sometimes when we are wrong about things. But this is the fun of the draft. This is the fun of the season. We like to speculate a lot of off-season stuff, and that's how we do it. So. You know,
yeah, I'm not gonna not talk, and I don't want to. You don't need me to repeat everything that is definitely happened. You need to hear other opinions, other sides, other possibilities, other ways to look at things. You know, and then you could agree or not agree, and then it's conversation. Just repeating the same thing that happens every day to me is just like, you know. Okay, that's good on like to a certain point, but it's not fun. It's not fun. Guppy 2 Wolfman, member for 5 months. Thank you so much. Could Josh Allen be this year's AJ Brown draft? He could. He could. Why not? Why not?
Oh, I'm going to wait for the time being. I'm going to say, Philly, we got some news. And you're going to say, what? I'm going to say, dude, you're going to be real happy. And then
believe me, I won't even be thinking about it once the draft starts. Like, it's not something I sit there and like, this is going to happen. I know it's going to happen. I don't expect it to happen. But I think it's something worth thinking about, we're talking about, because you never know how he's going to think. You never know how he's going to do. Now, if you're right and it happens, I will probably flip out. I will lose my mind. Yeah, it'd be great. That I might actually pull Hulk Hogan and have to like rip the Matt Corral jersey. Dylan Jordan Davis super chat. He goes, "Are you high-fiving a quarterback in the second round? You moron, Denzel Washington, aka the cannoli grabber." Yeah, I'm not high-fiving a quarterback. I don't want to draft a quarterback in the second round. Please, no. You know.
Yeah.
Duncan Wright Davis super chat, man. He goes, "I want a linebacker. What do you think of Harry Balls?" Yeah, Harry Balls is great. Great off the ball linebacker.
Harry Balls.
Harry Balls is a great off-the-ball linebacker. Fabio Davis super chat. He goes, Sidney Brown needs to be used like B-Dawk in blitz. Yeah, listen, I think that when he comes back and he's healthy, I would love to see them use him in a situation like that. We need to fill that wide receiver 3 role. Imagine we get Brian Thomas Jr. in the first round. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think I saw somebody in chat asked about Ladd McConkey. I like Ladd McConkey in the slot. I think he would be great for the slot. I think he would start right away and be productive.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Ricky Purcell,
there's a lot
Florida.
of
There's a lot of guys out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. We trade right with White Rams. Yeah, it would be crazy. You know. Let's see. Gainwell will be running back 1 soon over. Yeah, who's San Francisco's backup running back? That's going to be your number 1 running back. So I mean, I could do the same thing.
Kenny G.
We don't need to pick up a quarterback as a backup. We have Kenny Big Hands Pickett.
I just hope he plays well in the offseason so they at least get some. At least they get some. I just want him to play well. This way, he has value, and they could just trade him next year or something.
Yeah. David said the third receiver has to be addressed because I'll never forget seeing Smitty in a walking boot after Super Bowl. If one of those starters goes down the whole season, yeah, I agree, David, and I believe. My belief is that it's going to be addressed in the second round. I think they're going to take a wide receiver in the second round. Somebody that they feel like can play in the slot, they can play over the next few years in the slot, and then eventually kick outside when needed to. I think they're going receiver early, and I'd say second round. Could they possibly go receiver in the first round? That would be nuts. That would be crazy. Dylan Jordan Davis super chat, man. He goes, Philly, you missed the joke bad. That's exactly what you said when Howie drafted Hurts. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think you're right. I forgot, man. That whole thing. I just went blank when we drafted Hurts. I'm not gonna lie. I was so confused.
Everybody did.
I just was so confused by what is going on here. There are literally players that could probably start right now. I mean, it turned out to be a smart move. That's why the Haason Reddick thing, it doesn't look good now, but we've got to really wait and see because it could turn out to be the right thing. We just don't know.
It's true.
Philly, would you rather have Jared Verse or Lott? I would go Jared Verse. I like Jared Verse a lot.
Same.
So I would go Verse. Tight end in the first round. A lot of people want Bowers. They do. I would be a little bit surprised if they went that in the first round, but it could happen.
Bowers and a receiver with one of the second rounders. That'd be freaking insane.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be? I'll tell you, that would be nutty. I mean, because the question is how much would you play your second wide receiver?
I don't know, but
how much is he going to play?
The way Dallas Goedert's getting hurt, even if it's not his fault, he's always missing 4 or 5 games every year. It's just a given at this point, and he's 28 years old. So, and Calcaterra and Albert O are the only tight ends you have, and we haven't. It's what happens. You ignore a position last year. You don't use any guys. When Dallas Goedert got hurt, they completely ignored the position. You can't do that. Everybody's got to be involved. See what you have.
Yeah. Jay Koch says, what up, guys? Cooper DeJean is a Christian McCaffrey on defense. I think that the Eagles think that. I think they think that too. I think they think he's what, dude. I don't know, but dude, I'm telling you, I do have. I think they're going to go offensive line, right? My dream scenario is to get Josh Allen. I do think they'll go offensive line. I would like to see a cornerback in the draft. I don't think they'll do it in the first round. But Cooper DeJean, I don't know. There's something that if they're going to do some curveball, it's going to be that. Something tells me, watch out for him, dude. Watch out because
I think the interest is there. I think it's there because it's a multiple. It's a guy that can play. that could bandage up your defense and move around. Like he can.
Well, that and they love guys that they can move all over the place. I'm telling you, it would not surprise me at all. You know. Philly, I find it funny that people think the brotherly shove is dead because Kelsey's gone when they don't realize that it's Dickerson causes the push. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think it's far from dead, you know, far from dead. But, you know, they're hoping because they can't stop it any other way, you know. William Travis, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, call me crazy, but I would give up whatever Denver wants to get Patrick Surtain and draft edge rushers with the remaining second-round pick.
I'm tired of this.
Yeah, thank you for the Super Chat. I mean, listen, yeah, I mean, if he was available, I would be very open to Patrick Surtain. I just don't know that he's getting traded, you know? Like I haven't heard anything that he was on the block. I mean, have you heard anything that tells you like to watch out for him? Hello?
No. I have not.
All right,
I don't
what the hell just happened?
I don't want to answer.
Did it freeze?
I don't want to answer. No, I've heard nothing. No.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this draft, so many things could happen, and we still got time. I mean, there's still moves that have to be made. You know, we'll see what happens, but I think the Eagles trade up. I think the most likely pick is offensive line. I think defensive, like a pass rusher is also possible. And if you go offensive line pass rushers and you take those two off, what's the third most likely? I don't know. I think it's Cooper DeJean. Not corners. I think it's Cooper DeJean because I think they like him.
He moves down. I think it's possible. I don't think he's a trade-up candidate. I don't think he's even a mid-round pick at this point. I don't think too many teams are going all out because I think this team is just different. It just when they need like a certain move to happen, especially a guy with versatility like that, it just to a defense like this that not a lot of teams are running. It's
hard for me to believe that they don't go offensive line. I mean, when you just think about all the line, I just don't see how they're not going offensive line in this draft.
Even if they trade up, just say that with the reports, if they trade up and get the 16th overall pick, then things are getting real serious. Then it's like it's still not pinpointed on one position. It's still going to be Brock Bowers, still going to be Jackson Powers, still going to be a defensive end. You don't know. You don't know. The Eagles. I think this is one of the hardest years to figure out what they're going to do. You know, usually you have kind of an idea. I think this is a very hard year. It's been very quiet. And I tend to think that signals offensive line. I really do. Lewis, they were super chat. My man, he goes, I'm so happy we were signed Avonte Maddox. He will be awesome during the 3 games he plays every year. In all 3 games, he'll be awesome. Him and his big-ass toe. Thank you for the super chat. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, what were your thoughts on the Maddox signing? I'm not surprised at it. I mean, it's a cheap contract. I don't think he's starting. That's why I think the Cooper DeJean thing is well alive right now. We're gonna be saying his name on draft day. I got a feeling it's offensive line or it's gonna be his name. I just feel like it's gonna happen sooner or later.
Yeah, I do. I do too. It's going to be interesting. But I mean, we'll see. It should be a very, very interesting time. What do you got going on for tomorrow? You doing anything tomorrow?
I'm just got a video out tomorrow. It's already done, ready to go for tomorrow, and maybe a live stream tomorrow night. But other than that, it's pretty much it. Nothing much.
Yeah, I'll have a video at some point tomorrow. I'm going to sleep in. That's the one thing I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to sleep in and have a lazy morning, which means the Eagles will probably do something early in the morning that I'll have to jump out of bed and do a video on. But we'll see. But let me thank everybody for joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys coming. We know WrestleMania is going on and everybody's watching that. So those that are here watching, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say, man, before we get out of here?
No, I mean, we'll see if there's another move before, I think a couple, we'll see if there's a move for whether it's depth, whether it's a starter, or, we'll see if there maybe is a trade up in the draft by next week. We'll see. I mean, I don't know if Howie likes to trade up, to a certain pick before draft time. I feel like he's more of the morning, he'll try to make something happen, and then the draft comes and, we'll get a draft day trade. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So.
Going to be interesting. I cannot wait to the draft. And just if you guys don't know, we will be streaming every second of every minute of the draft. No doubt about it. And also, I want to say this. We're probably going to do an early shakedown for this week, because next week I got a wedding to go to. So we got to work out what day, but we'll also be doing that. But with that said, we're going to get out of here, guys. We hope you have a great night. Thank you so much. And peace out. We love you.
Peace, peace.
Oh, yeah, plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad, no!
It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off, it's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay!
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak!
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott! Trying to defend the CeeDee Lamb! Trying to defend the CeeDee Lamb! You trying to defend the CeeDee Lamb! You got to give it to CeeDee Lamb! God! It's over! It's over, Dak! Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jared Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.